Hi, welcome back. It's starting a new project today, and this time I'm going to make some sweatpants or jogging bottoms, whatever you wish. Tracksuit bottoms probably you'd like to call them. It's new look pattern 6142, and I'm going to do E. I've actually got the grey fabric, as you can see, and this is 100% cotton interlock double jersey. And if you look on the back of the pattern, I've highlighted, I chose that fabric, the cotton interlock, and it's a jersey. So I've got the right fabric, I've got the colour I want, which is grey. I think that goes with most things. Highlighted a few things. I'm doing E, this one, screw that up a bit, which is this one, and all I need is pieces 14, 15 and 16, and number 17 is an elastic guide. This fabric is 158 centimetres wide, and I bought it off eBay. So basically that's what I'm doing today, and I'll lay it out and come back. Well, there you go, I've got it pinned out now. I've ironed the pattern, got all the creases and the pleats out. The fabric didn't need ironing. I've got it pinned, and because I don't know whether the pins leave a mark in this fabric, I've pinned close to the size so that if it does leave any marks, then I can lose that mark in the 5/8 of the seam allowance. So I'll cut this out. It's only the 3 pieces, and transfer all markings, circles and anything that appertains to this pattern onto the fabric, and then we'll come back. Today I'm going to sew on my Atlantis. It's a Toyota machine. I've checked the book for the type of fabric, and it says to use a size 11 needle. So there you go. So I'm all set up ready. This machine was put away, cleaned and oiled, so I don't have to worry about doing, but that's I have got an Atlantis embroidery machine, but I've got no cams for it, but that's just as nice to sew with. This is lovely, this one is. So I've got my tension, everything. I've tested it on a piece of material, and we're ready to go. The first thing the pattern says is to apply a 1-inch square of fusible interfacing to wrong side of pants front over each buttonhole area, which was marked on the pattern, which you should have transferred over to your fabric. And it says make buttonholes in pants front at marks. Well, I got my Atlantis out, as you know, and so I had to quickly go and fetch my brother, because it's a lot easier on my brother to do a buttonhole. Whether the Atlantis is a bit old-fashioned, and I didn't fancy the without practicing with their buttonhole, which is old, very old. So anyway, there's the buttonholes. That's on the front, and I did that on my brother. So I quickly put that away again, and now I've got my Atlantis ready, and off we go. The next step is to pin the front and back together without stretching the fabric. There's the crotch. So basically one's the front, one's the back, and it's the inner leg seam that you pin all the way down, and then you sew 5/8 of an inch on the machine. Let's have a go at that, shall we? Just check that I have got 5/8 of an inch on that black line. And I need a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, yes it is. I've only got my tension, top tension on at 2, straight stitch, and here we go. And let's do a back stitch, shall we, at the beginning. The next section was to, once you've pinned the back and the front and done the inner leg seam, open them out and then do right sides together, and then you match all your notches on your centre back, all your notches on your centre front, and then you'll end up with this. And then you sew 5/8 of an inch all the way around. So, on this next section, you straighten it out, so you've got, on one side you've got your front, on the other side you've got your back, and then you put the two side seams, front and back together, both sides of your legs. on each seam, that's these, press open, and you either baste stitch all the way round to keep the seams flat at the top on the waist, or you can put down some interfacing, which obviously then you can either pull up and cut or leave down. It doesn't really matter, but you must take your basting stitches out, obviously you'll see them. Then you press over 1 1/8, which is this line here, and then basically then do another 1/4 inch like that underneath, and then sew very close to this edge. That is, I'm finding that a bit difficult, but I shall still keep going. And obviously where your, see if I can find the buttonholes, where you fold this, I can't find them, where are they? There's somewhere, can't have disappeared, there's the buttonholes. This hem folds over at the back, so as long as you remember to unclip your buttonhole, this is where your elastic's going to be threaded and you're making the casing. So you've got somewhere for it, and that'll be the next stage after we've done this. So when I've done this, I'll come back. Once you've completed that section, and obviously if you've put this on stabiliser, you can just tear it off up to the waistband where you've sewn, or if you've done basting, take your basting stitches out. And the next stage is to do the tie that goes inside your buttonholes. Now, I don't know what this is going to look like finished, but I think that's really thin. Messing about with 1 inch and 1/8, and then turning it under 1/4 inch, and then it's really little and it's slipping material. And if you look on the outside, it's not that straight. If that was me, I'd do a bigger hem, make sure it's really chunky, pin it all, and do so, you know what I mean. So anyway, we'll get on with the next stage and we'll see what happens then. The next step was to make the drawstring with your elastic, and the idea was to fold it in 1/2 inch, fold it and press it to crease, open it, and then fold in to the crease either side, press, and then fold it over, and then sew either side, etc, etc in the ends, and then attach the elastic to fit your size from the elastic gauge in between, so you've got one long with the elastic in the middle. I don't like messing about with 1/8 of an inch and folding this and folding that, so I've got some Petersham, which I think would look alright as a tie with red marks across the front. It's probably a little bit wide, but I think it'd be alright at the front, whether it curls over or not. There's the elastic in the middle with the size I'm doing, that's being attached, and then I'm going to put a safety pin in there and then thread it through the casing, and then I'll come back. As you can see, I have absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. It's tied up in a bow at the front, it's elastic all the way around. I have secured it at the back to stop it from twisting because it's only 1/2 inch, and then tied it at the front and it can be adjusted towards your waist. Now, I think this pattern's coming up small because that is not going to fit me. trust me. Even stretched out, I don't think it's going to fit me. So it's another one for my daughter, because that'll definitely fit her. She can wear them as pyjamas, she can wear them as loungers around the house. All I have to do now is take that up. But until I actually go to my daughter's and she tries them on, I'm not going to even attempt. I think they're made for like 5'6", I think the pattern says, the height. Well, my daughter's 5'7", so I only need a small hand stitched hem, and then I think they'll be fine for her. Now I think as a tracksuit, right, review, let's do a review. Let me put them on the mannequin and I'll come back. Well, I've just pinned them on the mannequin for now, just so you can get a sense. Right, I'll do a review. Don't like the small waist. Band, I would have liked to have done thick. I don't like messing with half an inch and quarter of an inch and eighth of an inch and things like that, so I just cannot see the point. I'll come up with ingenious to make my life easier with the band. I used my own light Peterson band instead of making, again, eighth of an inch, quarter of an inch, pressing this and pressing that and then sewing a little tiny. So no, don't like that. But this was an experiment to see whether I could sew with the fabric, and I like the fabric. I had no problem sewing with stretch fabric, so they're good enough for good a bedding, and I'm sure that she'll be absolutely fine with them, or lounging about the house on a day off from work. Something just to slip on quick and tie around the waist and pull on and wear with some slippers and a loose top. Just go to the side. There's my Christmas tree. There you go, and it's got lights in the basket at the bottom. Very Christmassy. There you go. So Merry Christmas to everybody. And the next thing I'm going to make is a cardigan. I'm just waiting for the fabric to come through the post. And so I'll see you soon, but probably not until Christmas week. So Merry Christmas.